Welcome everyone to the Baseball America video podcast. Kirk Kenney here with Aaron Fitt. The LSU Tigers have won their 6th national championship.
How about those Tigers, Kirk?
Hot off the press.
It's a lot of fun to watch, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. LSU beat Texas 11-4 to take the series. Best of 3. A lot of momentum shifts. LSU took the first game. Texas comes back in the second game. And then right off the bat today, LSU jumps out to a pretty quick 4-0 lead. Aaron, take us through a little bit of that early on.
Yeah, Texas fell behind early. It was clear, I think, that Cole Green didn't have his best stuff today in his 3rd outing here at Omaha. When he got the first 2 outs pretty quickly, hit Blake Dean, and LSU showed how explosive it can be in that first inning, getting 3 runs in a flash, capped, of course, by Jared Mitchell's 3-run home run down the right field line. And from there, you got the sense maybe that LSU could run away with this game. That didn't happen.
Texas chipped away, got a couple runs, and then they tied it up with 2 more runs in the 5th to make it 4-4. But then LSU came right back in the 6th and got 5 runs.
Yeah, and that was the difference in the game right there. As LSU responded, once again, Jared Mitchell with I think the biggest at bat here, working an 8-pitch walk. Count was full. Gets on base. He knew he needed to get something started. That was really the turning point for me, Kirk. Mikey Matsuk, of course, followed with an RBI double into that right center field gap to give LSU the lead for good. And then Texas just kind of self-destructed in the bullpen. We've seen that a few times here this week. We saw Southern Miss do that in their first game against Texas way back on last Sunday, I think. We saw North Carolina's bullpen self-destruct in an elimination game against Arizona State. The common denominator here, and it was again a factor today, inability to find the strike zone, hitting batters, walking batters, making errors. The big innings that have kind of been threaded through the College World Series here have had those things in common. Unusual to see that happen to Texas today, Kirk. I thought the Longhorns probably could have avoided that plight had they just stuck with Brandon Workman, who was really pitching well. I thought he retired 9 straight batters heading into the 6th inning. He allowed 2 base runners, and Augie pulled them, and that was kind of the end for me. I think that the Austin Deshary and Austin Wood didn't have it. And at that point, Texas had burned through its 3 best, most reliable bullpen arms in the 6th inning.
With the last 3 innings with that big lead, LSU was basically just how are they going to celebrate this thing. They brought in Lewis Coleman at the end, and what did you think of him being there at the end for them?
I thought it was a perfect way to finish for LSU. I mean, Lewis Coleman is their senior. He came back and told the guys he was coming back to win a national championship. And I heard Joe Oliva on the field afterwards, the LSU athletic director, thanking Coleman for coming back. I think a lot of LSU fans feel the same way. So happy for LSU, Kirk, to win this thing. Paul Maneri, one of the nicest gentlemen in baseball. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. He deserved this. It was great for his dad, Demi Maneri, the legendary former coach, who was here and got to see his son win a championship. And it was great to see LSU, I thought, get back on top. This is a proud program. Went through a little bit of a lull here in the middle part of this decade. Now they're sitting on top of the college baseball universe again.
2 weeks here, 15 games. It all came down to Texas and LSU. What are your thoughts in general on those 2 teams and what they accomplished here this year?
I mean, it was clear to me that the 2 best teams in college baseball were playing for the national championship, and I think that's great for the sport. I thought there was a lot of energy here for the entire College World Series. The crowds were good. Attendance was up by a couple of thousand a game from last year. And I think it's wonderful to see 2 heavyweights, 2 marquee brand names going head-to-head. I thought this championship final series lived up to the expectations. Texas, blew that first game, but it was a very, very competitive game. Give LSU the credit for battling back to win that game. Give Texas the credit for coming back in Game 2 to even this thing up behind a dominant performance from Taylor Youngman.
And despite LSU's stumble in Game 2, I think they clearly were the best team here, and the best team did win.
The best team won, Kirk. That's the bottom line. LSU was number 2 in the preseason. They should have been number 1, but they were number 2, and they were in that top 5 basically the entire season. I thought it was pretty clear going down the stretch that they were the best team. They sure proved it here tonight.
Well, another exciting College World Series is in the books. Aaron, I want to thank you for a great time.
Thank you, Kirk. It's been great having you here.
All right, and we'll see everybody else next year. Thanks a lot.